Hi, boys and girls. All right, so in this video, we are going to talk about how we're going to use base 10 model for adding numbers in our hundreds. So I need you to follow along with me. You can either use a whiteboard, a marker. If you're using a whiteboard and marker, go ahead and set it up as 100s, 10s, and 1s. So make your HTO model, hundreds, tens, and ones. Okay, and get that marker ready and something to erase with as well. And then if you don't want to use your whiteboard, you can always use the hundreds, tens, and ones chart that I gave you inside of your supply bag back before Christmas vacation. Okay, but you'll also need a marker for that too, and an eraser to erase your work when you're done. Okay, so all of the double digit numbers that we have been adding over the last few days, the last few weeks, maybe even months, you all have been staying under the number 100. Okay, so but what happens if we add up our numbers and they go over 100? So I'm going to help you today show you what it looks like when we go over 100 with our answer and how it looks like on the board too. Okay? All right, so you guys are definitely ready to move on with that. Let's do some practice. So today we are going to start with the number sentence 75 plus 42. So I'm just going to write my number sentence up here. 75 plus 42. Okay, so somewhere on the top you write that too, just so we remember what we're adding. Okay, now I know these are still two-digit numbers. So 75 is a two-digit number, 42 is a two-digit number. But when we add those together, we're going to end up over 100. So I want you to know what to do when that happens. Okay, so I am going to go ahead and use the strategy of base 10 model for adding 100s. Okay, so that's our strategy today, base 10 model. Okay, so I'm going to set up nice and big my 100s place, my line, my 10s place, my other line, and my ones place. And then I draw my big line going across. That's how you can quickly get yourself set up for the base 10 model, okay? And I'm glad that I wrote down my number sentence because I already forgot my numbers. So I'm glad I can look right there and go, oh yeah, 75 plus 42. That's what I'm adding. So when I look at 75, I know that there are 7 tens and 5 ones. So I'm going to quickly build that on my board. You guys go ahead and do that too. So we're going to build 75 in base 10 look. 10, 20, 30, 40, 50, 60, 70, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 7 tens, 5 ones. Go ahead and build that in your tens and ones. Okay. And then if you need to pause, remember, if Mrs. Dome goes a little bit too fast, because it's hard for me, I can't see you, so I don't know when you're really done, just pause and then play when you're ready. Okay. So now we're adding, so we're joining our numbers together. So when we join them together, we have to take our second number and add it on the board, add it on the base 10 board. Okay, so let's go ahead and add 42. And in 42, we have how many tens, how many ones? Right, we have 4 tens, 2 ones. That's what we're going to add on here. 4 tens, 1, 2, 3, 4. Or you can think of it as 10, 20, 30, 40. 2 ones. Okay, so remember, we're joining those numbers together. Go ahead and get that on your board. Okay, now along with that, I want to show you, because some of you like to use the stacking strategy, but the stacking strategy is actually a very difficult strategy to use. Even though the process is easy, sometimes kids don't understand what they're doing when they do the stacking strategy. So I'm going to go ahead and write 75 over here plus 42 in stacking strategy. Okay, so some of you like to use this form. If you have space on your whiteboard, you can write this out too. If not, you can write it on a side piece of paper. Because stacking strategy and base 10 model are a little bit similar, okay? And why we do the base 10 counting is because we can see our numbers a little bit better than we can see them here. This is just in a standard form look. This is in a base 10 look, which really helps us understand what we're doing, okay? So as I'm doing my base 10 for adding this number, I'm going to show you how to do it alongside here too. Okay, so now let's go back to our base 10 model. Let's go ahead and draw our answer bar. So you can see this answer bar is like this answer bar, okay? And 75 is just in base 10 look, and 42 is just in base 10 look. Okay, so now we can add up our 10s, we can add up our 1s. It really doesn't matter with adding where you want to start, okay? So if you want, you can start with your 10s. Okay, so let's go to our 10s and let's count up how many 10s we have. I'm going to count by 10s. Remember, each line is 10 ones put together. So we have to count by 10s right here. Okay, so ready? Count by 10s. Here we go. 10, 20, 30, 40, 50, 60, 70, 80, 90, 100, and we have one more 10. So when that happens, we say 110. We just start over again. 10. Okay? 110. Wow. 110. Okay, so remember the rule when we have 10, a group of 10, we have to regroup it and put it over to the next place value, right? So remember when we have 10 ones, we regroup them and move them over to the 10s. The same rule applies for your 10s. Okay, so what does that look like? So we're going to group up 100 of them. 10, 20, 30, 40, 50, 60, 70, 80, 90, 100. Okay? We just grouped up 10 10s. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. When you have that group of 10, you have 100. You have 100 objects. Well, when we have 100 objects, we can put it into the hundreds place. Okay? So what does the base 10 look for 100? It looks like this. We just draw a square. That we a hundreds flat. Okay? This is no longer sitting here, so we can cross that out. We grouped this up and moved it over here. Okay? So go ahead and regroup 10 10s to 100. Good. Now we're ready to write down what we have left over. Okay, so we have one group of 100. So we're going to write one group of 100. We have 110 left over. And we have how many ones? We had 5, 6, and 7. 7 ones. Okay, so to answer 75 plus 42, it equals 117. That's how we read that. 117. 75 plus 42 equals 117. Okay, so now you can see what it looks like when our answer goes over that 100. We've gotten close. We've got to 99. But now it's time to start jumping over that 100 and seeing what it looks like when we add, because sometimes in the real world, that's what happens. We add up numbers that go over 100 sometimes, okay? And we have to know what to do. All right, so what does that look like in stacking? So let's take a look at it here. So with the stacking method, it doesn't matter. You can still add your tens or ones. It doesn't matter what place you go. Your parents will probably tell you to add your ones first because that's what they learned in school. That's what I was taught in school too. But it doesn't really matter. As you can see here, we added up our tens first, and we still got the correct answer. Okay, so we could go to our 7 and our 4. So remember we had 7 ones with our 70, and we had 4. Did I say ones? I meant tens. 7 tens. Okay, here, and we had 4 tens there. So we can add up our 7 tens plus our 4 tens. So it's like saying 70 plus 40, which is what this is, 70 plus 40. And when we add 70 plus 40, right, we already did that over there. 10, 20, 30, 40, 50, 60, 70 plus 40, 10, 20, 30, 40. Okay, that whole number is 110, right? It's 110. Okay, so what we end up doing is we're going to have to make another place value over here because we know that 110 is like 11 tens. It's 11 tens, but we cannot write 11 tens right here. Okay, because we have this 1 right here. This 1 should go into the hundreds place. Okay, and then we're left with just the 1 from the 11. Okay, and then if we look at it here, we could just say, well, there's 100, and there's 5 ones plus 2 ones, just like we saw here. 5 ones plus 2 ones is 7 ones. So you can see how we still get 117. But the tricky part with the stacking strategy, boys and girls, is knowing how to regroup your group of 10 and understand what that one means. Okay? So I don't mind that you do the stacking strategy, but be careful and tell yourself, do I know what I'm doing? Do I know what this one means? Okay, and if you don't, and if you can't explain it to yourself, that means you don't really understand the strategy. That means maybe you need to back up a little bit and see it. Okay, you need to see it a little bit better until you become more familiar with what you're doing. Okay, all right, so let's go ahead and erase our boards. And let's try another. All right, so again, we're using the base 10 model for adding numbers in our hundreds. All right, let's try this. Let's try 86 plus 59. I'm gonna write that down right away. 86 plus 59. Okay, and I'm gonna do my hundreds place, tens place. Go ahead and write this down too, and ones place. Okay, and remember, if I'm going too fast, pause and then get caught up. 86 plus 59. All right, let's start with our 86. And 86, we have 8 tens and 6 ones. So that's what we build first. 80, 10, 20, 30, 40, 50, 60, 70, 80. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 ones. Now let's build 59. Ready? 10, 20, 30, 40, 50. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. 86 plus 59. Draw that answer bar. Okay. So you can see here in our tens place, we have 10, 20, 30, 40, 50, 60, 70, 80, 90, 100, 110, 120, 130. We have 130. Okay. How many tens is that? go back and count the number of tens. You have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13 tens. 13 tens. We definitely need to regroup because 13 goes over the number 10, and 10 is that number where we have to regroup, okay, to get our answer. And look over here in the ones. How many ones do we have? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15 ones. There is another example of 15 is over the number 10. So we're going to have to regroup in our ones also. So you can see it doesn't matter where you start. You can start with your tens. You can start with your ones. This time I'll start with my ones. Okay, so let's go ahead and find a group of 10 and regroup it. Ready? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. All right, so I'm going to pick up those 10. And remember what we do? Move them over here. Regroup them. And you're going to add a whole new group of 10. Remember, these guys are not here anymore, okay, because we're grouping them up and we're saying, hey, you could go to the tens now, okay? You're a group of 10, go over to the tens. And the reason why we do this is so we can see our answer clearly, okay? Now, look at all this, all of these tens here. Remember, if we can find a group, we need to regroup it. Okay, so let's see if we have a group of 10. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. We sure do. Let's go ahead and circle 10 tens. And remember, like we did in the last problem when we had 10 tens, where did he go? Yeah, we put him into the hundreds place now because it's really a whole group of 100. And when we have a group of 100, what do we make it look like? A hundreds flat, right? So now he's a hundreds flat. Good. Okay, so we had to regroup 2 times in this problem. We had to regroup in our ones place and our tens place. Let's go ahead and figure out our answer now. So now you're just writing what you have left over. So we have 100 flat, write 1 down. We have 1, 2, 3, 4 tens left. And we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 ones. So 86 plus 59 equals 145. And we did this using base 10 model for adding. Okay, what does that look like with stacking? 86 plus 59. Okay, so 86 plus 59. If we started with our ones place like we did here, we have 6 ones plus 9 ones. 6 ones plus 9 ones is 15 ones. Good. So this is why I have you practicing your math facts too, so you can know those facts quickly. 6 plus 9 ones is 15 ones. Okay, so remember, we don't write 15 like that. We just keep the ones there. We just keep that 5 and we regroup this one group. That's like what we did here. We take our group of 10 and we move it to the tens place. So I'm going to take that one group of 10 and just put it right here. Okay? So now I have one more 10 to add, plus 8 tens, plus 5 tens, right? So if we know that 8 and 5 is 13, plus 1 more is 14 tens. Again, I don't write 14 in my tens place. I have to think of it as another place value, okay? Because I'm adding the hundreds place in. And now I have a group of 100. So that would be like when we grouped up this part, moved it over, and now we have one group of 100. So we have to remember to bring that group down. And you can see we still get 145. Okay? So again, you can see how stacking can be easier, and that's why your parents are telling you, just do it this way. It's easier. It is easier. However, remind mom and dad that sometimes it's not the easiest in our heads to remember in second grade. Okay? Sometimes in second grade, We still need to go through all of this thinking before we can do the easy route. Okay, but eventually, when you get really good and you understand the regrouping process, then this is exactly the strategy you should be using, because this is the easiest, but we have to understand the mental part of it first. Okay, you guys? Now, on your own, I want you to go ahead and add up 2 more numbers for me using base 10, okay? And you guys are going to submit pictures to me today, so be sure that you're doing these ones. All right, for this one, go ahead and try 51 plus, I'm going to hold these in the camera in just a minute, 70, let's go 73. We'll make it easy for you. We'll make one easy. Okay, so you're going to do, oh, wait, here, let me give you another one. Hold on, 50, and then we'll do 48 plus 86. Yeah, that'll be good. Okay, so see these two? Write them down. 51 plus 73 and 48 plus 86. So I want you to practice these two on your own, like on paper or on your whiteboard, and then hold it up to your camera when you're done. Take a picture and then insert how you did using the base 10 model. Okay, I want to see how you're regrouping. If you need help with that, please send me, even if you don't understand how to do it, please send me your work so that way I know that you don't understand, and then I can jump into your breakout room and I can help you on it. But if you don't send me anything, then I don't know if you're understanding or not. So please send me what you know. Nobody else sees it, just Mrs. Doan. Okay? All right, so try 51 plus 73 and 48 plus 86. And let me know how you're doing. And remember, you're using base 10 model, just like we did over here. Use your base 10 model, okay? Do not use stacking today. I don't want to see that. I want to see that you know how to do it in base 10 form first, okay? All right, you guys, off you go. These two to do. Okay, bye.